uses of this system and the Bitcoin protocol, and they see the incredible opportunity to innovate in the global financial system. And I think that's why you're seeing such a positive reception.
Patrick, let's define the parameters for Bitcoin. I mean, as a best guesstimate with everything we know so far right now. I mean, the idea that it's going to become a mainstream currency, I mean, the bulk of the people transacting in Bitcoin, isn't that a bit of a delusion? I mean, in a society where you still have people not even on plastic, you still have people pulling paper cash out of ATMs and not really participating in cyber economics. I mean, isn't it a stretch? I mean, trying to imagine everybody being, holding and transacting in Bitcoins, that's kind of demanding that everybody be online and have a certain aptitude for online transactions.
Well, certainly, and if you look back in the 90s, people had the same thought about the internet, that it was only for the technically savvy people to get online, and we've seen the same thing with mobile, both with feature phones and now with smartphones, and we see that the penetration on these technologies is just illustrative of how these things can change and change quickly. I think that to think of Bitcoin as a competitor to payment cards is not really seeing it the right way. I think the biggest opportunity for Bitcoin is to move people out of a cash-based informal economy and into a globally connected digital economy.
And Patrick, just quickly, I mean, we've seen such wild fluctuations in this currency. It must be very difficult to try and find fair value. Where do you think fair value is?
That's really hard to say. Certainly, it's thinly traded. It's a supply and demand market. As demand rises, we see price spikes like the one we're seeing right now. There are likely to be corrections down the road as well. It will take a lot more pent-up demand coming to the market if we start crossing the chasm into mainstream adoption. The price will have to go a lot higher from where it is today. What that number ends up being is very dependent on the overall success of Bitcoin becoming something that is usable by everyday people in commerce, as well as the success of Bitcoin in becoming a safe store of value for people globally.